It happens to everyone. You spend your money on a beauty product thinking it's going to be the perfect one, and then it fails you miserably. And it's a double whammy when it's a high-end or a luxury product that you've spent your money on. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, are just some high-end and luxury products that I've purchased that I regret. I have been very disappointed by these products, so they've basically been fails for me. I find these types of videos helpful, and I hope you do too. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, and if you like everyday beauty made easy and you are not subscribed, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before the end of this video. All right, let's go ahead and get into these luxury and high-end products that just did not work out for me. I know I'm not alone with my disappointment in this first product. There are a lot of people that were disappointed, but it needs to be in an official video, and I have a few things to say. I'm not disappointed for just one reason. So I bought the Marc Jacobs Omega x3 palette in Tantastic Glow. Initially. This is the one that's made for fair to medium skin tones. Like mine, I have light medium skin tone. I have great luck with Marc Jacobs products overall. I'm also a sucker for a good face palette, so this just looked like it would be the perfect product. And I remember seeing the photos of these before I ordered it, and I thought, the highlighters seem like they're kind of switched. It seemed like they put the medium gold highlighter in the lighter palette, they put the champagne highlighter in the deeper palette, which I do have here. I'll show you that in a second, but I wanted to get my hands on it. I wanted to see how it worked. Yeah, this highlight, it's a medium gold highlighter. It just does not look good on my skin tone. I can't imagine it looks good on fair skin tones, but that's not it. It's just gritty. It's just a gritty highlighter. It doesn't have that texture that you expect from Marc Jacobs, like the blush and the bronzer. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and try that dark palette, even though I'm not really liking this one. Maybe the champagne highlight texture will be different, and the darker shades will also work on fair to light medium skin tones. I found I could use a very light hand with these, and they do work, not as well as these. Clearly, the highlighters are in the wrong palettes. I don't know what they were thinking. The champagne highlight needs to be in the lighter palette, and the gold highlight needs to be in the deeper palette, obviously. And that's what I think most people's complaint about this palette was. But the champagne highlight, as perfect as the shade looks like it would be for light to medium skin tones and fair skin tones, it was also very gritty and kind of invisible when you applied it. It just did not work. I don't know what they were thinking with these. These were huge disappointments. Maybe they'll remedy them somehow and switch out the highlighters and, you know, make them smoother and less gritty. I don't know. So I mentioned this in my Sephora haul video that went up somewhat recently. The brand new Tatcha the Silk Powder. I just could not get this to work. I have great luck with a lot of Tatcha products. This is just not one of them. So it's not just that it's not good for my skin type. My skin type is combination oily, but I do have some dryness, surface dehydration, because I'm on prescription retinol and I do have dry under eyes. It can make a setting powder a little bit of a challenge because, you know, what sometimes works for setting my T-zone doesn't always work under my eyes because, you know, one is shiny and one is dry. But this just looks cakey under my eyes. Now, I did try to set it like I usually do with a sponge first, and then I realized I was using too much. You're supposed to use just a very, very minimal amount of powder. So I changed, I started doing that, and I still just cannot get this to not look apparent or cakey or make my under eyes look dry, and it doesn't do anything for the shine in my T-zone. The dispenser is pretty unique. I mean, it comes out from the sides of this little center part here. I had high hopes for it, but unfortunately, it just did not work for me. Did any of you pick this up right after the launch? I mean, it just launched not long ago. I'd love to hear about other products in this video that worked or did not work for you. I mean, just because these didn't work for me doesn't mean they're not going to work for you. This is just my personal experience with these products. So I talked about this Gucci Natural Finish Fluid Foundation in another video. I talked about how I just, you know, didn't love it, didn't hate it, but it just didn't really blow me away, which, you know, when you spend this much money on a foundation, you really do want it to just perform beautifully for you. I don't necessarily think this is a huge fail for me, but it's just too finicky of a foundation for me to reach for it. I just always have to mess with it a little bit with certain primers and certain powders and certain combinations of things and applying it just a certain way. And I just feel like my skin looks, you know, okay with it. It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look, you know, bad either. It's just not the prettiest foundation that I've ever used. I mean,
It doesn't have to be the prettiest foundation I've ever used, but I would like for it to be, you know, kind of up there if I'm spending this kind of money, and it was okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of regret buying this. I mean, I buy things to try them out for you guys, so I don't regret it from that standpoint. As creators, we're kind of in a weird spot because a lot of these I would have returned because they didn't work for me. I would have gotten my money back. I just, you know, usually will give it away to friends or whatever so that it doesn't go to waste, but I always feel weird about returning things, so then they just sit here until, you know, I find somebody to give them to. These are the Nars Air Matte lip colors, and I bought several of these shades. I really do like the whip texture. I like the shape of the doe foot applicator, and I like the way they feel right after I apply them. But these are just not a product that I reach for. These transfer pretty badly, and you know, I know balm type products transfer, but a pretty thick layer comes off with these. They also make my lips start to feel dry as they wear away, so they don't moisturize my lips, they don't stay on. There's really just no benefit to these. The Nars Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balms are what I reach for when I want something matte that is actually going to hydrate my lips. I like those so much better than this. I mean, yeah, they're not as opaque. This color, it basically ends up being a tint by the time it's all said and done, and it doesn't even feel good. At least the balms hydrate. So it's still from Nars. I just like that product better. I'm going to have alternative products linked in the description box down below that I prefer over these products. If you're interested in that at all, I'll also have what I'm wearing and all that stuff. This foundation and the Gucci foundation are actually what prompted me to make this video, because I was thinking when you spend a lot of money on a foundation, you really want it to perform well for your skin. And the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Foundation Stick was just a complete fail for me. I mean, the packaging is so pretty, and you know, I always try to find a good foundation stick that will work well for my combination oily skin and that won't emphasize my dry areas and that won't slide off or break up as the day goes on. I felt like this really did look beautiful upon application, but it made me so greasy as the day went on. I was so disappointed. I really wanted it to work because of, you know, how pretty it did look, and I'm always a sucker for pretty packaging. Is anybody else like that? So yeah, this just made me super, super oily, and it was a huge luxury disappointment. But I do like their cheek sticks, their blush sticks. I think those are absolutely beautiful. This, not so much. I shared in a couple of videos the Anastasia Beverly Hills Iced Out highlighter, and what I really liked about it was that it was a white highlighter that had some gold in it versus being just a straight up gold or a straight up white. I don't typically gravitate towards either of those for a highlighter. I usually prefer a champagne or kind of a light rose gold highlight, but this one seemed promising, and even after I tried it, I really thought it was pretty. But then it just sat in my drawer because I was reaching for my tried and true highlighters, the ones that, you know, have shades that I gravitate towards. So even though it was much better than a straight white or a straight gold highlight, it just wasn't one that I was reaching for. So I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, it failed me miserably, but I regret purchasing it because I just never wore it. It just sat there. So I have already given that one away to someone who will actually use it. And that's where, you know, makeup that we don't use and we don't get along with should go. I kind of feel like this product should be in a products I change my mind about video, because I did initially like the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Concealer when I first bought it. Aside from the sponge tip, I couldn't stand that because the opening was way too narrow. It was just goopy and messy almost right from the start. But I liked the creamy consistency. It seemed to work great for my dry textured under eyes for a little while. And then a couple months in, I don't know if something settles in with the formula in the tube or what, but it started seeming dry. It started just making my under eyes look drier than normal. So I kind of stopped using it and moved on to other concealers. And then I thought, you know, maybe that was something I was doing wrong with my eye cream or whatnot. So I reached for it again and it did the same thing. I'm not the only person that has experienced that with this concealer. And typically I have great luck with Charlotte Tilbury all the way around, but this one was just a no-go for my dry textured under eyes. But I was really disappointed. I don't think I've had a concealer do that to me before. So that is a product regret, I guess, kind of after the fact because it happened later on. The Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation
huge disappointment because I had seen a lot of other people really liked it. And I just thought for my over 40 skin, this was going to work beautifully because of the serum aspect of it. I mean, I've gotten to where I don't really want mattifying foundations all the time. I do like just a natural luminous finish too, but I just didn't feel like this did well on my pores. It separated on me as the day went on, just in various spots. And as the day went on, it also settled into my bigger forehead line. It did that every time I wore it, no matter what primer, no matter what powder I use with it, no matter if I used it alone. I mean, it just didn't work for me at all. And I really thought it would. I just felt like, you know, you could kind of see it on my skin. It didn't look as natural as I thought it was going to look. So yeah, big disappointment for me. You know, if you've seen the couple of foundation roundups where I've included these foundations, the 3 foundations that are in here are no surprise, but I know not everybody watches those. And I like to share things that don't work for me because they can be helpful for you, you know, the reasons why I don't like these. I just wanted to share this quick video with you because, you know, this has been on my mind, just the money that we spend on things only to have them not work. And that is part of my channel, is helping you guys spend your money more wisely on things that hopefully will make you happy. And again, just because these didn't work for me doesn't mean they won't work for you. Actually, for some of you, the reasons why I don't like some things might be the reasons why you might like them. I would love to hear any products that just failed you, disappointed you as well, in the comments down below. I just shared 5 anti-aging skincare game changers. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have it linked here for you. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button, become part of the family, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!